Hi,
doing, my friend?
it's
How
been
are
a
you?
while. I'm doing well.
I think
Yes.
it's been a month.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I am
Good.
doing well.
First, let's talk about this because we haven't seen this yet.
Okay, so this is the Frozen Sky shawl. Some of you may have seen it already because I knit it like 3 years ago now. But I was a little chilly this morning, so I grabbed this so I wouldn't be shivering while we were recording. So this is by Alasenko, I want to say,
Mm.
Saenko. And you can
Okay.
find it on Ravelry. And they're both Monos de Uruguay yarns. This one's Cabrito and this one's Fino. And it's like a lovely mohair. And I feel a little glamorous in it. Not because you get the fuzz from the mohair, and so it's like, you're like soft lit kind of because of the mohair.
Yes. Yes.
And it's like, so I saw an interview once with Stephen West, not like in the last few years, and he made some comment like, if you think you don't like mohair, try it again because we have better goats now. And and that's how I feel about this mohair, because my mom was like big into she had a mohair phase in like the late 80s
When
when
everything
it
was
was,
fuzzy back then.
yeah. And it just was so itchy. And I noticed maybe like 10 years ago now, maybe
Really?
started noticing that there were mohairs that didn't have that itch anymore, And so this
Huh.
Fino by Manos is one of those very nice ones. I
Right.
like
So let's clarify for people that may not know. Mohair comes from an Angora goat, and those are the ones that have like the ringlets.
it.
They look like they have kind of ringlets. And that's not to be confused with cashmere.
Right.
And the reason I clarify that is because sometimes people think that cashmere is a breed of goat, but it's not. It's a
Oh,
trait. It's a trait. So like my little dairy goats have cashmere because cashmere is the fluffy undercoat that they shed off
right.
in the spring. And so I could run out there and go visit Frodo, who's like the big pet. He's a weather, and I can just brush him and get that fluff,
Right.
So that fluff is cashmere.
Do you ever do that and
Yeah,
like keep it for your spinning?
I have, but then I feel like I don't have a lot of time to. My mom has some Shetland fleeces
Uh-huh.
from when she had the Shetland sheep, and so I do have some little paper sacks full of Frodo fluff, and so I may card it together and spin some of that.
That would be
Yeah.
interesting. Like a Shetland cashmere blend. That would be really interesting.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also like an interesting difference
Mhm.
between cashmere and like wool, where they go in and cut it off the animal. Cashmere has to be brushed off.
Yeah,
Or
I mean,
you can
he's
just brush it off.
shedding. I mean, I could just go out
Yeah.
there and go plick, 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 and he's like, "Oh, that feels good."
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because it's
Or
like it's basically their winter coat, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
they bulk
it's the
up on it when it's
undercoat.
cold. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
fluff, and so some breeds of goat naturally produce more cashmere than others.
Right.
Um, and so like there's a Spanish meat goat that people use for cashmere because they seem to produce an abundance. And it's the castrated males that produce more cashmere because, they're not lactating and they're not pregnant. And so they put their energy into their coat.
Into warmth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why Frodo has so much, because he's a lazy bum and he doesn't do anything but grow fur
Yeah.
and
Makes sense.
follow me around because he wants cookies out of my pocket.
So tell me about your cardigan before we go much further.
Oh, this is just one of the first hoodies I ever made for myself. It's the olive hoodie. It's just a basic, and I knitted this a long time ago, and I did not put in the zipper. My mother did that for me because I don't want to do that. I did not put in the zipper. So she did that. It has a little bit of a pattern on the back, on the lower small of your back, but this was brown sheep burley
Oh, okay.
burley spunted. So it's just a bulky single ply. And because I live close to brown sheep, there was a bunch of it at the factory seconds shop, and
Uh-huh.
I mean, this was, I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago. This is a long time ago. So yeah, but again, it's cold this morning. So it
Yeah.
was like 57 degrees in the house when I got up. Yeah.
I do not. So last night, my husband and I are very differently temperatured.
Mhm.
So he likes the house on the cold side, and so I just freeze in the wintertime. And then we have like a nice time, like in the spring,
Kind of
before
equal.
he gets the air conditioners out, and then I freeze again. So it's part of the reason why I knit. But the other day, I had made a sweet potato in our oven,
Mhm.
and I thought I had turned the oven off. And when it's like this, when I turn the oven off, I just leave the door open. So
Yeah,
all that oven heat can
sure. Why not?
bring up the kitchen by like a degree or whatever.
I do that.
And he came in I was working in here in my office. He came in and a few minutes later, he's like, "Did you mean to leave the oven door open?" I was like, "Yeah, I shut it off." He's like, "No, you didn't."
So you're just heating the kitchen with
I was
the
just heating the kitchen. It was very nice. It was only like 4 or 5 minutes that it was, like that. But I was like,
right. So I know you knit that like 3 years ago, but I just haven't. I don't think I've seen it before. So
yeah, it's
that's
fun.
not,
So
you
it's
know,
it's
not
like a crescent shape
yeah.
shawl, but I like the edging, like
That
the different.
reminds me. Yeah, that reminds me of the
Happy.
hitchhiker. The hitchhiker is like that. It's like the, you know.
Uh-huh.
That pattern's been out for a really long time. I don't even know. I can't remember who
Oh,
designed that, but it's free,
uh-huh.
I think, on Ravelry, but I don't think it's as big as what you have going there. So
I'm not as artfully arranged anymore.
this is why that's why I wear hoodies, because or cowls, because I just have, although
Yeah,
I
it's
do
just
have
best.
I have some giant schlankety kind of shawls that I like, but
Uh-huh.
you don't have to really artfully arrange them. You just wrap them up because they're
Yeah,
big
you just put them on.
together, right?
That's true. This year so in the past I've been all about shawls. Like you just throw them on and you go and it's fine. And I think I had 2 winters where I was just in love with shawls. And then this year I've been all about cardigans and hoodies again. So I
Yeah.
have a couple cardigans I picked up when I was in Shetland that I sort of rotate through, and a wool hoodie from Woolex that I just like. Between those 3 things, I think I wore my coat, like my actual coat maybe a dozen times this winter, because I was just
Yeah.
just
Well,
wool
winter's
sweaters
not
and a
over.
hoodie.
Not over. Oh my, at least not
Not
here.
for you. I'm
Oh,
hoping it's over here.
I
I'm hoping it's
know.
over
It
here.
was like in the low 20s this morning
Oh,
and snowing a little bit. We just had a little dusting and then
yeah.
a few flurries, but we might have snow Friday.
So we've had a couple really big storms this month. We're
Yeah.
in March still. Yeah. So this month we had a couple really big end of season storms, including the biggest one we've had this year.
Okay.
And luckily my husband was actually home for it, so he got to do the shoveling. But so we left last weekend for a family reunion in California,
Uh-huh.
and got back and the snow was gone. And I was like, good, okay,
Right.
done. We keep getting in our 10-day forecast, there keeps being like one random day where it says snow, but then as it gets closer, it goes to rain. So I'm like, okay, good. In the meantime, Shetland, which has had very mild winters for a very long time now,
Right.
at the same time we started getting crazy snow in March, they started getting crazy snow in March, but they keep getting crazy snow. And I'm supposed to go there in like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks I leave. And I'm like, please be done. I do not want to go to snow.
But that's why, well, I mean, that's fantastic though, because your hoodies and stuff that's wool is easily layered and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Sometimes here I'll wear, something wool like this, and then I'll just put on like a windbreaker because it's windy, but I'm perfectly
Right.
but I don't want to wear my big giant coat necessarily if I'm going walking.
Yeah.
So I'll just do that windbreaker layer, and then I have my Harriet's hat, my beanie, and it's fine.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's pretty much what I do too. If it's windy, I'll put a windbreaker on over what I'm doing.
Something woolly with a windbreaker is perfect.
Yep.
Even if it's 20 something degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lovely. What are you knitting?
So I am knitting my project for
I'm doing this like I could see over there.
Don't look. I'm knitting my project for the senior skein knit along that I'm running. It's just a 2-week fun. The premise of it was to find your oldest skein of yarn and get it cast on. And I had a very kind lady donate some yarn in the UK as a prize, and I have some yarn as a prize. And then I'll also do like the equivalent of $25 gift card for a third winner, and it'll be for, depending on where they live, it'll be a yarn store in their country.
Cool.
So it might be like 20 pounds in the UK, you know, whatever, like 25.
Yeah, whatever that conversion is. Sure.
So this is what I'm doing.
Nah.
It's the sock head cowl, and it's supposed to start with 4 inches of ribbing, and you can see how long I continued with the ribbing. I was not doing 4 inches of ribbing. And then, I'm doing it in Misty Alpaca hand paint, which is a lace weight, and I'm doubling to make a fingering. And I have had this yarn maybe getting close to 20 years now.
Wow.
Because I don't think it's quite, it might be like 18, 17-ish years.
Still quite a long time to be hibernating in your stash.
Yeah. And I have one more hank of this that's a natural color. So I got really into alpaca because it's soft, and I got really into lace because it's like a fun, good challenge. And then I realized that alpaca and lace isn't necessarily ideal because alpaca will grow over time. Yeah. So I have I've gifted them on or used them in other ways, but I still had a few of these lace weight alpacas still in my stash. So this is what I'm doing. And oops, I'm losing stitches. Not only did I modify it by not doing 4 inches of ribbing to start, because that just wasn't going to happen. Because it's just a tube cowl that you're supposed to knit for like 12 inches, and it just is scrunched up.
But let me interrupt you and say that's really cool though, because then it may be long enough to like pull over, like if you want, if you need it to be warm all of a sudden, or
you could just, As I'm working on it though, I was like, I think I still have a lot. And I got to 10 inches last night.
Wow.
And so what I've done is I've started putting increases in so that the side I wear against my shoulders will be a little wider. So it'll hopefully like pull a little bit more on the shoulders and then go up.
Yeah, that's a good idea since you have so much more. You have more yarn. That's awesome.
So much more. And I'll just estimate when I get close and just do some ribbing. Actually, I think on the end, so the part that lays here, I don't want it to pull in like ribbing would do. So I'm just going to do moss stitch.
Yeah.
That'll lie flat without pulling in.
Keep it from curling up.
So that's my plan for this. So the goal for this is to have it done by the end of the month, by March 31st, and then I'll award prizes. And if you're seeing this before then, you literally just have to cast on your oldest skein. You don't have to have it done. The hashtag is senior skein KAL on Instagram. Or if you go to the I Thought I Knew How group on Facebook, you can post pictures there of your progress.
Yeah, I'll put links to all that.
Yeah. So we're just clearing out a little room in our stash, and people have had like novelty yarns and farm yarns and like kits that they bought ages ago. And it's just, we're just getting it out and getting it knit up. So
sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But you have a knit along going on. I'm doing your knit along too.
Yes.
I'm double knit along.
A bunch of us are doing the Ripples sweater, but a bunch of us are doing other sweaters for the sweater soiree. All the tutorials on the channel are for the Ripples, but you can participate in the Ravelry group or on Instagram by knitting any sweater. So
which is what I'm doing because I already knit Ripples.
Yeah. Yes.
Which you saw in the last episode we did together. I was wearing it. Yeah.
Cool. So show me what you're doing.
Okay. So I am doing the Fairag Cardigan. Which was, can you see it?
Yes, that's lovely.
So this was designed by Elizabeth Johnston, who is a Shetland designer. She's known as Shetland Handspun. Some of you may have gotten your hands on some of her yarn before. I'm doing this in Jamieson's of Shetland double knitting.
Okay.
And so this was in the 2021 Shetland Wool Week annual. And I saw it and was like, oh, I have to have it, you know. So I went and bought the yarn for it.
Mhm.
And then I saw the jumper in person,
Oh.
and it's supposed to be cropped, but Elizabeth is much smaller than I am.
Mhm.
And so the cropped length is more like a bolero length on me. So the yarn I got, I ended up using for something else. And then when I was on the I-91 shop hop this last year, there is a shop along the way that sells the Jamieson's DK. So instead of, I think I need like 13 balls of
Mhm.
it, and I have 17 now so that I can lengthen this. So I've done one, I'm doing one full extra repeat of the main lace pattern.
Right.
Add some length. So it'll still be it'll be shorter than I normally wear it, but it should it'll go a little bit past my waist instead
Okay.
of mid hip, which is where I usually wear my sweaters, is to
Right.
mid hip.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'm getting very close to, if I have time today to knit on it, I'm hoping to get to the point where you divide for the front and back.
Nice.
So, because I really want to wear this when I go in a few weeks. I'm hoping to have it. I know your sweater soiree gives
Yeah.
people much more time. I'm just being ridiculous trying to do it in like a month.
Yes. Hazel really likes wool.
She's a smart cat.
And it's chilly in the house, and I am usually not her favorite, but her favorite is my oldest at college. So
Has to go to second favorite.
well, that's really my youngest, but
Oh,
there may be others sleeping in with her at the moment. And Hazel,
okay.
yeah, she doesn't really like snuggle with the other cats.
Uh-huh.
So she's
So
decided
you get a turn.
that it's morning bath time on me. Did you see her come up on the desk?
I did.
And she's a little crotchety. If I try to put her down, she'll actually hiss at me.
Oh, wow.
She wants what she wants.
Bullied.
Yeah. But she's cute. So here she is. Right.
I
So you,
think the greatest thing about reels and, you know, all that sort of thing is all the cat reels. I just love
oh
cute
my
cat
gosh.
reels, angry cat reels, saucy cat reels,
You
cuddly cat
remember
reels.
you remember Grumpy Cat?
Yeah.
And then Grumpy Cat passed away finally.
Yeah.
There's another one called Grumpy Barbara.
Oh,
I just look it up. It's
yeah.
Grumpy Barbara.
Put a link below for everyone,
Yeah,
Jana.
I will. Grumpy Barbara. Right. Speaking of Instagram reels, I don't know where this was, but this woman's holding a chicken. It's not a rooster, it's a hen. She's holding
Uh-huh.
this hen, and there's this like big spider on the wall. It
Oh.
holds it up, and the chicken's like, bam! I mean, it just nails the spider. And you hear this man in the background going, "Good job, Susie. Good job."
Our neighbors I'm so happy like that, you know, spring is springing, because between our house and our neighbor's house, they have a big chicken coop area.
Okay.
And so they're back to letting the chickens out to roam.
Yeah.
And I call them my yard dinosaurs because, you know, they don't know the boundaries. So they come all through our yard and go through their yard, and they
Yeah.
just eat all the bugs. And I love it
Yeah.
because we live in Connecticut and there's the Lyme ticks everywhere, you know? So
Oh,
I'm like, good job, yard dinosaurs. Get out there. Doing great.
Yay, Dino Girls. Right on.
Yeah, they make me happy.
I'm about to pen mine in because they're free ranging. However,
Even in the winter.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they run around all the time. And the thing is I made the mistake of starting to give them like mealworms and stuff, and I'd chuck it out of the porch, and now they come to the porch and they poop all over the porch. It's horrible. And when the FedEx guy comes, they like run over to him. They're like, and they run over to the UPS, and the FedEx guy are like, they usually carry like dog bones and stuff, but they're like, I don't know what to give your
I
chicken.
don't carry mealworms.
I'm like, just don't run over them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would really like to have a nice flower bed in the front this year, but they're so like destructive with their.
Yeah, they're very scratchy, diggy. They like to dig.
And then the duck, when it rains, the duck's like, it's little holes all up in where the downspout come. Yeah. I mean, they eat grasshoppers, and I'm happy about that for the sake of the garden, but we're going to have to balance the grasshopper pooping on the porch situation. Anyway, no one cares. But I will say, I am grateful they've pretty well kept laying through the winter. And so eggs are expensive right now. So I'm happy about that.
They are getting better. I think they're down to $6 a dozen around us. They had been over $8. They've been over $8.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
We don't buy eggs at the store. I had no idea. I mean, people were complaining about it, but I had really no idea the actual cost.
Yeah, it was crazy for a while. I mean, it's still crazy, but it was just over $8 at the peak here. Yeah. When we were in the UK for Apelia, we were like, the eggs are so cheap. We're eggs every morning, all morning, just eating eggs.
Yeah.
The luxury of an egg.
I know. And my youngest is into French toast right now. So there's been a lot of French toast happening.
Do your girls keep laying through the winter?
They did this year, but that's also because it's not uncommon for young hens to lay through their first winter we didn't even have extra light or, heat lamps or anything out there. I mean, they're just hardy. So, I mean, they slacked off. Like, they're not laying necessarily every day. Maybe I have 6 hens, so maybe I'd get like 3 eggs one day and like 5 the next, or, it's fine. Yeah. They may not.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the neighbor chickens to start laying again so I can go buy them all out of their cooler.
Oh, I have to show you a new acquisition.
Okay.
Okay, so I recently discovered this new independent dyer. Well, new to me. I don't know that she's new, but she's new to me. Her name is Michelle, and she's from Woolens Nosh.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
And this is in Vermont, and look, it's self-striping. It's going to be my purple stripy socks.
Those are pretty. That's pretty.
I'm happy.
That is very pretty.
The other thing I'm happy about it is not merino.
Really? What is it?
It's 90% superwash targi and 10% nylon. So
how long have I been saying I want a hand dyer who works in something other than merino?
Right? Targi is much more durable for socks. I mean, it just makes so much sense. And it does have 10% nylon, but still. And it's a little bit, seems like it's a regular size fingering. It's 3 ply, but it's not a light fingering. And
so what's the story? Is it her sheep or like a friend sheep, or she's just sourcing it? And
yeah, you can get targi. I know another dyer that uses targi for her sock. Yeah. So I'm happy and love it. I love it. The other thing that's cool about Woolens Nosh, when you look at their website, is she usually, like the self-striping, she'll usually have a sample knitted where you can see how the stripes, if they're all equal or some are wide and some are thin. So I really like how she does that, how she shows you the striping sequence. See, I mean, what you're going to, obviously that's going to change with your gauge or whatever a little bit, but you get an idea of what you're getting. So happy about that.
I'm counting in my head, and then I have something to say. Hold on a second. I'm on an increase round.
Okay.
I want to talk about self-striping because I'm using it front, at both ends. I'm using both ends. And they just like magically lined up. So both strands, I get the yellow at the same time. I'm like, I don't know how that happened.
Wow.
But also, like, it started out like not so distinctly stripy, really, and then got very, very distinctly stripy.
And that's going to change some, obviously, when you do your increases. And
Well, yeah, it was just barely starting to like thin out a little bit.
Yeah, it's going
like
to
the last few were sort of, and now I'm doing my increases. So now it's like getting all messed up again.
It's neat.
But
though.
I was just like, what are the chances of like grabbing the front and back of the and getting the yellow to line up?
Right.
That's crazy. Cool. Ah, I lost stitches again. I can't put this down. I think I need to put it on a longer.
Oh, on a longer cable. Yeah.
Because it's metal. I'm using metal with
slippery stuff.
So there's no grip.
Yeah. So I have way too many things going on. I have my sock class that's going on right now on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I have 2 different groups. One's my Wednesday night sock class and then a Saturday morning sock class. And then we have our Monday night sweater soiree, and that's for patrons. That's for patrons right now.
Uh-huh.
And so they can, get a ticket to attend the sweater soiree. And then we all work on our sweaters for a couple hours on Monday nights.
Nice.
But my hiking friend wants a hat, and she's going to New Zealand soon. And it's, kind of moving into fall. And I had given her a hat. She's my backpacking partner, and she's one of those tiny people that like doesn't have an ounce of body fat. So she's cold all the time. And the hat that she has like doesn't really come down far enough. And so I'm making another Musselburgh for her.
Okay.
So it's thicker and right. So that's in progress.
Nice. Ooh, I like the striping in that.
Yeah, it's the Zauerball.
Okay.
Or however you say that. Right. But this is 150 grams and it's more of a DK. It's kind of, I would call it a light DK or a heavy fingering.
Okay.
Or maybe more of a sport. Anyway, I've had DK that seems thicker is the point.
I agree. I don't think that we're truly standardized yet.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
No.
Right. But I do like it. I like it. Because what I usually do is I feel like, how there's sections, how they wind it in sections like this.
Uh-huh.
I like go like this and I take off a section and I let it like pull, on my desk. And then I just knit through a section before I get up or do something else. So I'm happy about that. But I wanted to get this done for her. But we're in the middle of the sweater thing and I have 2 socks going on. Right. But I'll show you my sweater and lots of people.
Okay, yeah.
But lots of people are further ahead than me, which is funny because I'm hosting the knit along, but I have things going on and video editing takes time and classes and right. So lots of people are further ahead than I am, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So right now we're having a bye week, like in sports. So we're having our podcast recording instead of a tutorial this week because we're knitting the body, right? There's not a lot to see right now.
You're just going round and round.
Yeah. So, but I'm digging it.
It's great.
Yes.
Oh, that's really fun. And you're about to get to your pop. Your next color, your next color is your pop?
Yeah. This turquoise. It's called Turquoise Wonder.
It's a wonder. So that's exciting. That looks really good.
Thank you. Got to have the hair.
Yep. Yeah. Match your sweater.
That's right. So that's a lot of fun.
Mine does too. You just have to look more at the roots.
Are you growing yours? It looks a little longer this time.
No, I am growing it longer.
Okay.
There was a decision made at this last haircut.
To
start growing it out to a shape that can grow out and be okay. So what it's more shaped before.
Okay.
Like tighter, the sides were tighter and stuff, but now we're like letting it I look like a mushroom. I still have to tuck it.
Yeah.
But the thought is to like just start letting it get more to like a long bob.
Okay.
Because then when I'm gone for like because the first set of tours,
right,
I'm gone at most 6 weeks. My haircut can handle that. That's fine. But the next set of tours, I have Shetland Wool Week at the end of that. I have a week and then I have Shetland Wool Week. And then I'm staying to do the yarn boxes from the UK this time and ship them all from there. Mm-hmm. So it's more like 9 to 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And at that point, I'm just like, I want
You're
something
being
where if
cranky
I
about
have
your
to,
hair.
I can let it go for a while and then go in for a cut. So yeah, my hairdresser is very much of the short hair club, and I think it made her sad that I'm moving out of the short hair club, but needs must, needs must.
Okay.
And I might get sick of it and chop it all off again, you know, and just be like, whatever, I'll wear a hat. I'm in Shetland. It's not a problem.
Yeah. So mine was pretty much longer, but I just can't stand it when it's that the length right here and it starts going in your ear. I'm like, oh, I mean, it's just a sensory thing for me. I cannot take it. I can't take
I can't have my hair in front of my ears at all. I always have it tucked. And even when I have it short, I have her leave this part a little long so I can tuck it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even get to the point. I couldn't even get to the point where I let it grow enough to tuck. It wasn't being tuckable. So I just do the undercut thing, and I'll probably
Right.
let this grow out and I just undercut because I can't take it.
Mm-hmm.
Hair dilemmas, hair problems. Oh, speaking of dilemmas, do you want to hear about my frog it or leave it dilemma?
Yes, I do. Let's make a decision.
Getting
Or
back to
go
knitting.
through it.
Okay. Okay, so
Oh, I stopped doing increases. Oh well, I'll do one here. I'm making up my own pattern, so it's okay.
yeah. So okay, so I knitted this whole sock and I kind of like it, but I kind of don't. And I'm kind of like, huh, it's kooky. I mean, the color, right?
Uh-huh.
But would I wear
Is
it?
the heel like a waffle stitch or a seed
Oh,
stitch?
it's the Eye of Partridge heel. Yeah, so it's reinforced a slip stitch, but you alternate where you do it, so it makes
Oh,
that pattern.
okay.
Yeah, so it's reinforced, but yeah, that's the Eye of Partridge. See?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there.
Okay, so your dilemma is
Just that it's a weird color, and I wish I would have chosen a different contrast. But I'm like, yeah, I'll probably still wear it. So then I'm like, okay, I guess I'll knit the second one, even though I'm kind of meh about it.
so is the body just but the body has the green in it, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, it's just kooky.
Says the lady with purple hair.
Okay, good point. Oh, but here's what I could do. I am debating about. See, here's the main thing here. See,
Okay, hold on. I have to do an increase. Okay, that's the main color?
yeah,
Okay.
I could use this one for the second sock,
Well,
and then I'd
okay.
have
So that's more
fraternal.
subdued.
Then I'd have fraternal twins.
Yeah.
So I guess the dilemma is frog it, leave it, knit the second one to match, or knit the second one with this as the contrast.
Do you ever wear your socks in a way that people can see your socks?
Oh yeah, because
Okay.
I'm still a like complete dork, and I wear Birkenstocks with my Birkenstocks with my socks. Oh yeah, yeah.
So I think that the sock color itself, like the green one,
Uh-huh.
is kooky enough that if you did fraternal, it would just be kooky. It would just be kooky and it would be cute and quirky. And but I also think that like making it a matching pair, the green would be fine. And I mean, you could start a toe and get to where you do the main color and see if that makes you more joyful. And if so, then you can frog the other one and just do them blue.
That's true.
So I'm no help.
No,
I think every solution works.
that's true. But I did like the stripey thing.
Yeah.
I do like the stripe thing. I think I'll probably just finish them. I'll just probably just finish them and wear them. Why not? And I can't even give them to anybody because my feet are so big.
I won't wear them though because I don't wear knit socks.
And they'd be too big for you.
I don't think so. We've talked about this before, Jana.
Women size 12.
Yes.
Oh, but you wouldn't wear it. So
I wouldn't wear it. So
I guess I won't
I
send
can't believe you forgot that we're foot twins.
I did forget that. I thought your foot was a little smaller, like a 10.
No.
Okay.
No.
Hmm.
I got my dad's clodhoppers. Actually, I'm not as big as my dad.
My
My
dad,
dad is
father and I
little.
have my dad and I have the same size foot, but I don't think he'd wear these. He's going to be 85 in May, and I kind of doubt he would wear these. That would be
Spice
super
things up
funny,
a
though.
little bit.
That would be funny, though. Be like, here, Pop, happy birthday. He'd be like, thanks. Yeah, I don't think so. Anyway, I do have another sock going. This one is for Will, my husband. He wears
Ooh.
men's size 13, but this is truly a DK. This is actually a DK, but I really like the colors. It reminds me of, kind of pebbles in the river sort of colors.
Yeah, that's nice.
I like that a lot. And I did the same kind of a waffly. I have partridge heel on this one. This
Mhm.
is, yeah. So, but I didn't just need to keep going. This is just need to keep going. Oh,
Let's keep going.
my daughter and I, my youngest. Okay, now it's been years since I watched Downton Abbey. So, I'm
Okay.
rewatching it because she wanted to we were watching it together, and she hasn't ever seen it. And now
Okay.
when Downton Abbey first came out, I mean, she was little and quite a lot younger, so she wouldn't have appreciated it. But we're watching it together, and she is knitting a blanket for Project Linus. So that's, if viewers are unfamiliar, that's a charity that receives handmade blankets. It can be crochet, knitting, sewing, quilting.
Yep.
For kids in need or kids that have had, some kind of trauma. Anyway, you can look that up, and there's different chapters all over the country that you can mail. So for her National Honor Society service project, she's knitting a blanket for Project Linus. And I had some acrylic that's really soft, but it's washable. So it's charity knitting, right. So we're watching Downton Abbey together and knitting, and we've been staying up too late. Oh my gosh. But this week is spring break, so that's okay. Well, I mean, she can sleep in, but I still have to get up and do chores and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. But you never get that back, you never get that time back. So I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy about that. So we're knitting and watching Downton Abbey. And she's
Excellent.
like, I won't give any spoilers in case there's viewers that miraculously have not watched it, but some of the episodes she's been like, oh, for
It
various
does get
reasons.
so soap opera-y, like all the twists and turns and everything. Yeah.
It is well done, though, and what's
Yeah,
funny
it's
is,
beautiful. I mean, it's a
yeah,
beautiful program
and the
and
Dowager Countess, she's kinda salty, and
cracks me up.
I know, and the thing is, my daughter is like, "Ooh, she's a little spicy." And I'm like, she's like, "Granny's in charge." So, it's been fun to watch that with her and just see her perspective, as an
Yeah.
18-year-old versus mine, so
Yeah.
she's doing the, oh, we're just using worsted. From years ago, I had some, well, it's not a senior skein, but I had a bunch of red heart, really soft. I can't think of the name of it, but I had made some stuff years ago with that, and I had a bunch left over that will probably be enough. And it's different colors that are complementary. And she's doing the habitation throw pattern where
Okay.
it's knitted on the bias, and she's just
Yeah.
going to do some stripes, but she's not doing the yarn overs and stuff. She's just garter stitching with the I-cord edging, and I just, figured that would be nice for a blanket. And with this Project Linus, you can do any size. I mean, it could be a receiving blanket for a baby, or it could be, a queen size blanket.
Mhm.
So yeah, so she's just gonna knit halfway until she feels like it's enough, and yeah, go back.
And then go back. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a neat thing to, charity knitting in Downton Abbey. It's been fun.
My youngest and I watch, we're so behind on All Creatures Great and Small. So we
I
haven't finished the latest season. So
Yeah.
we have a few more to do, but that's what we do too. It's like, let's go, let's do it.
I haven't watched
Great
that
British
for sure.
Bake Off. We have 3 shows that we move through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Great British Baking Show, I was bummed when Mary left.
Yeah, it's different vibe, but it's still, I mean, I still enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
But the new hosts are kooky,
Yes, they are.
says the woman with purple hair.
Just embrace it. It's okay. Game recognizes game.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been watching, well, I go back and forth. I'm still watching Vera occasionally. Yeah, I'm only on season 4 or 5 of Vera.
Okay, because there is a new one out, and I think I'm like 1.5 episodes in.
A new Vera?
Yeah.
Oh, I better get
Yeah.
into it then. Okay.
Yeah. But I keep forgetting and watching other things, and I'm like, oh, like, because I have it set up in the basement so I can do my bike and
Oh,
watch
yeah.
a show while I do it, so I'm not thinking about what I'm doing.
Right.
And I keep watching other things and then being like, oh, I should have watched a Vera. But so I just watched on, I want to say Amazon Prime. There was a mini series called Trial by Innocence, and it was an Agatha Christie.
Oh,
It has Bill Nye in it,
I gotta write that.
and yeah, I think it's like 4 episodes,
Yeah.
about an hour long. Has another guy in that's younger and cuter who I recognize, but I don't remember his name, and he's a real jerk in this one. And then if you watch Poldark, the woman he marries, she's in it.
Okay.
And that might be all that I recognized. The maid I recognize, but I can't place her yet. I haven't figured out where I've seen her before. Anyway, you all don't need to know this. What you need to know, it was good. It was good. And it was worth the 4 sitting watching the episodes.
Okay. Okay.
So.
That's cool. Yeah. Sometimes I watch cop shows, like American cop shows, then I get all critical about it.
Uh-huh.
From my time working at a police department as a dispatcher, I'd be like, well, that's nonsense. They don't do it that way.
So my husband and I just finished watching a show called After Party that's on Apple Plus.
Okay.
And the general premise is high school reunion. One of the guys is now a famous singer / influencer. He has an after party and he ends up dead. And so then the detective comes with her partner and they're trying to solve it. And so they take in the different people to interview them and they tell the story of their night.
Right.
But everyone does it and then they show it, as they're telling it. And it's all in a different movie genre.
Oh.
So like the first one's like when they're sort of establishing what they're doing, it's like film noir, and that one's really quick and it's just this one girl and it's done quick. But then it's a rom-com, and then it's like what's that film, Fast and the Furious, and then it's it's a musical, and so every episode's like a different genre. And you would think like this has got to get annoying, but there's like enough they're like going between the story of the night and all the people waiting and trying to figure out what's going on. So it's not, they do it really well. But there is an episode where the detective like starts talking to her partner and tells him a part of her backstory and same sort of thing. But anyway, there's a scene in it where she ends up on a movie set looking for someone, and she's like, that's not how we do it. That's nonsense. That is not how police work works.
Right. Anyway, so
but that was, I kept seeing that listed and being like, but it ended up being way better than I expected it to be. So there's another recommendation for movie knitting.
Yeah.
Or knitting for, movie knitting. I said
and
that right.
I like all those survival shows, like, Alone and all the,
Is the Alone the one where they're all survivalists, but they have to pair up with someone in order? No,
they're actually alone, and they're all survival, geeks, and they're survivalists with different skills, but they get dropped on like, in British Columbia somewhere, or in like they had one in Patagonia, or they had the one I just finished was in Labrador. And it's in the fall, so it's they got to build a shelter before winter comes, and it's they got to try to hunt and stuff, and it's starting to suck because it's fall and there's very little plants and stuff that are edible, and the fish and all that. Anyway, So I love all that. But then sometimes, like not alone necessarily, but there's been a couple of other shows I've watched recently in that same genre where I'm like, oh, seriously? You're in grizzly country. You don't clean a fish at camp. How stupid is that? Like, oh, come and eat me. So dumb. I know, but it's trash TV. Ones like that are trash TV. So, but you just like bitch about it and do what you're doing. I watch it sometimes when I'm in the kitchen, when I'm doing something
Well, I
tedious.
think part of the appeal of shows like that is being like, I know better than these guys.
You're gonna be all self-righteous and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe. Believe it or
And I
not.
don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's fiction. It's not fiction, whatever.
Well,
It's,
it might be.
that's part of it is
Yeah, it
just
might
being
just
like,
be
oh,
scripted.
you're crazy. What are you
And
thinking?
knowing that it's just scripted entertainment. Most of that's just, it's whatever. But I'm doing canning, believe it or not, because at the end of the season last year, we had way too many tomatoes before we knew it was going to frost because it took a long time for everything to ripen. And so I don't know if you know this, but you can take tomatoes and just throw them in a plastic bag and freeze them.
Oh, you can freeze them? What? I didn't know that.
Okay, so we had all these like probably 50 pounds of tomatoes that we put in plastic bags and put in the freezer. And then when you're finally ready to deal with them, like now, you take them out and run them under warm water and the skins will just slip right off.
Oh, wow.
And so then Will had also taken a bunch of peppers and chopped them up and mixed them how he wanted them with like the different heat levels of various peppers and put those in a Ziploc and froze those and pre-measured them. So I have a salsa recipe where I do like either 10 or 20 pounds of tomatoes and then the appropriate measurements of all the peppers and the onions and garlic and all this stuff.
Okay.
So that's why I was watching some of this show yesterday was because I was cooking salsa. And then it got late and we had to watch Downton Abbey. But it's cold enough here. I took the whole big pot, put the lid on it, and took it out to the garage for overnight. So I'll can it today.
Nice.
Because Downton Abbey, right? That's a priority.
Absolutely.
Like, this stuff can sit in the garage where it's 35 degrees overnight.
Yeah.
I'll deal with it tomorrow.
That's fine. That's fine.
I know it's weird to say that you're canning in March, but this is catch up. This is all the crap I didn't get to last October.
Yeah.
That's all right. So I guess we've rambled on, haven't we?
Yeah.
So people can follow along on the Senior Skein, and I'll put the link for your Instagram down below and also my sweaters soiree.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to seeing your sock head when it's done.
I am too. I think I'm hoping to have this done as well so I can wear this in Shetland where it's still snowing.
And hopefully it won't be by the time you get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got like week and 3/4, guys. Pull it together. Shetland.
Thanks again for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Jana.
Bye.
I'll see you later. Bye.